So let's talk about something that I guess you could say broke during everybody's review of AEW Dynamite tonight, or last night by the time you watch this. Mainly the fact that Vince Russo put out a tweet on his Twitter account, because you see, earlier in the day, Tony Kahn made the announcement that Jon Moxley had entered himself into inpatient alcoholism rehab, or something to that extent. In fact, let me see if I can find Tony Khan's tweet here, because he put it on his Twitter as well. Excuse me. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Alright, here it is. This is what Tony Kahn said today, or yesterday. This is actually on Tuesday, but nobody really knew about it till today, because he posted this at 8:35 p.m. Pacific time, my time, I believe, or it might have been 5:35 or 5:32. It was 5:33 p.m. Pacific, I think, or 8:33 Pacific Eastern, 5:33 Pacific. But this is what Tony Kahn said on Tuesday, and everybody was starting to talk about it today. And this is what he said about Jon Moxley, and I quote, Jon Moxley has allowed me to share with you that he is entering an inpatient alcohol treatment program. Jon is a beloved member of the AEW family. We all stand with him and Renee and all of his family and friends as he shifts focus to recovery. He continues on. Jon is making a very brave choice to get help, and we're embracing his choice and supporting him however we can. Continuing on. I am proud to call Jon a friend, and like many of you, I'm also a fan of MOX and look forward to a time in the future when he is eventually ready to return to the ring. Until then, thank you for supporting Jon and respecting his privacy at this time. And then he puts the helpline for anybody that is dealing, with the similar situations, for the SAMHSA's National Help Hotline, which is 1-800-662-HELP, which is 4357. And you got a lot of responses to this. JD from NY mentions that alcohol destroyed his family and continues to be something that his brothers and he constantly deal with because they refuse to beg rehab. His thoughts and prayers and love go to Jon, and it shows how strong he is to admitting it. You have Jeremy D from Florida, also sending condolences and well wishes. You have a lot of people basically coming out and supporting Jon Moxley in this, as well as Jade Cargill, who's in the TBS tournament, as well as Britt Baker, DMD, Phil Macer, Firestar Hart, who's one of the moderators for Just Alex. So yeah, there's a lot of people showing love and everything to Moxley as he goes through this. And also my prayers and well wishes go out to Jon as well. Hope and pray he gets a speedy recovery, or has a speedy recovery, and bounces back very, very soon. In fact, I think a lot of us fans hope to see Jon back in time for the first AEW Dynamite on TBS in 2022. I really do. So Jon, well wishes. Take care of yourself and Renee. This is something I know you can beat. And believe it or not, a lot of our families deal with alcoholism. Not as bad as what Jon's going through or others have gone through. But it is something to where when you think, you have control over it, eventually it catches up to you and you realize, hey, you do need some help. And there have been times where it looks like perhaps my family has potentially been on the edge of that environment, but thank the Lord we haven't crossed over yet, or members of my family haven't crossed over yet, so thank the Lord on that. So yeah, a lot of people are wishing him well wishes. Joe Henning, the former Curtis Axel, is wishing him well wishes and everything. And the Big LG, Luke Gallows, Doc Gallows is wishing him well. Let's see who else. Who else is wishing him? A lot of people are wishing him well on this. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that. Pretty cool of them to do that. And really big, like I said, of Jon to admit that he has a problem and that he's willing to sacrifice, an opportunity, on screen and legitimately at becoming world champion again, or at least having a match against somebody he's wrestled before, but this time having more opportunity to let loose a little bit more than previously. I'm proud. I think a lot of us, are proud that he's willing to sacrifice that to get the help he needs. So again, Godspeed to you, Jon, and hope to see you back in 2022 at the earliest, if everything goes well. But with that said, of course, there was some negative criticisms as well. Some negative criticisms. Some people, have come out and said that, this wouldn't have happened if he was in WWE. Some people saying that, this is what happens when he decides to, go back to his deathmatch roots, his independent roots. Look, it doesn't matter where you are. This is, if you have an alcoholic problem, this is going to happen. I mean, a lot of people don't, come out and say this about Jey Uso when he's done it. I mean, how many times has he done it? He's done it a lot. I think it's, Jey Uso. He's done it a lot. So, they shouldn't, be criticizing, Jon Moxley for the same issue. At least Jon Moxley is willing to admit he needs help. Uso, I think it's Uso. Let me check. Yeah, it's Jimmy Uso. It's Jimmy. Like I said, at least Moxley is willing to acknowledge he needs help. Jimmy, how many times has he been arrested for DUI? And putting people in danger? 4 or 5 times, and he's gotten away scot-free? I think 1 or 2 times they tried to get him help, but how long did that last? At least here, the guy's willing to take time off to get himself better before he comes back so he doesn't have a relapse. So a lot of us, including myself, are proud of the fact that he's doing this. So for those that want to get on him for, you should have stayed in WWE and this wouldn't have happened, why don't you ask Jimmy Uso that same question of why it happens to him, who's currently in WWE as one half of the SmackDown Tag Team Champs? Why don't you ask him? But that's not the reason I want to do this video. Besides wishing Jon well in his recovery and hoping to see him back by beginning of 2022. That's not the reason. I want you to listen to this. And I tweeted this out to Just Alex. And a lot of people tweeted this out to Just Alex. And hopefully it's still up there. But this was from Vince Russo. Yeah, Vince Russo, the guy that was behind the Attitude Era, I guess you could say, in WWF, as well as tried to be the new visionary of WCW, the guy that tried to be the visionary of TNA and stuff. Well, he decided, Vince Russo that is, he decided to speak his mind. And the responses he got in return, I think Vince, Russo, bro, I think maybe you should have kept your mouth shut on this portion, okay? I mean, I know you and Jim Cornette and others have problems with Tony Kahn and AEW, but seriously, this is an issue that you should just leave alone. Because what you say here is, a misunderstanding and interpretation, a misinterpretation of what's happening. But here's what Vince Russo had to say in response to Tony Kahn coming out and telling people what was going on. And I quote, this is from Vince Russo. This is how Vince Russo responded about 8 hours ago. This is his response, and I quote, in my opinion, IMO, in my opinion, at Tony Kahn, and he capitalizes all these 3 letters, or all these 3 words. He says, and I quote, in my opinion, okay, let me reread that. Hold on. This is what he says in response to Tony Kahn telling people what's going on, right? With Jon Moxley. This is his response, and I quote, In my opinion, IMO, at Tony Kahn, and he capitalized all these words, crossed the line in tweeting about Jon Moxley's situation. He has the absolute audacity, capitalize the word audacity, to say, quote, respect his privacy, unquote, as he, and he capitalizes the word he, puts it out there on Twitter, not once, but twice, capitalizes the word twice. I'm going full off, capitalizes the words full off, on TK, on Better Call Khan, his, I guess his section of his podcast or something that you can get on Patreon. And here's the thing. A lot of people responded back to him in a very negative way because basically a lot of them feel he misinterpreted what was going on. And some people have even had to show him the fact that TK got permission, Tony Khan got permission from Moxley to let the fans know at home who would be tuning into Dynamite last night to watch his match, his scheduled match with Orange Cassidy, a semifinal in the World Title Eliminator Tournament. He gave Tony Khan the okay to let them know why he wasn't going to be there or why he wasn't going to be around for a while. He gave him his consent. You know, Tony Khan didn't say, "Oh, Jon Moxley is going into inpatient rehab for alcoholism treatment. Oh, I guess I'm just going to tell the world then." No. Tony Khan respected his wishes should Jon want to keep it secret and private. But Jon didn't want people to know, or didn't want people wondering why was he missing, especially during an important, time for AEW when it comes to, the end of 2021 and going into 2022, especially when it comes to the world title picture. So he basically told Tony Khan, "Hey, Tony, let them know what I'm going through. Let them be aware of why I'm not going to be there. Do what you have to do." He gave him his consent. And by giving him his consent, Tony Khan alerted the fans as to why Jon Moxley was going to be there. He didn't do it. He didn't do it for any other reason. He didn't. I mean, Russo basically, and I think he mentions this later on, he mentions this later on, I think because he responded a couple of times, but Russo basically said, and this is, here's a response. Here's a response. Now, somebody did respond to him, around the same time frame. This is one of the response to him. This is from an Eric Morse. This is what Eric Morse responded to Russo about. He said, and I quote, "Vince, with all due respect, you are entitled to your opinion, and you are right a lot of times. However, though, if Jon Moxley gave his permission and blessing for Tony Khan to do it, then I can't get mad." Basically, he's saying, look, I shouldn't get mad if Moxley allowed Tony Khan, Moxley gave the okay to Tony Khan to say, go ahead and tell him what's going on, because everybody will be wondering. He can't be mad at that because the person that's going through this, that's trying to get themselves help, gave the okay, gave the blessing, gave the consent to Tony Khan, to their boss, to let all the fans, let the fellow wrestlers, the employees know, hey, this is why so-and-so's not going to be here for a while, or why he's got to be pulled from this important tournament and all that. If he didn't want TK to know, or he didn't want TK to tell anybody, he would have said, please don't tell anybody, respect my privacy. But he didn't. He said, TK, let them know. And that's what he did. And TK just said that all they want in return is to respect his and Renee's privacy at this time. Now, here's Vince Russo's response. Here's his response, and I quote, read Tony's tweets. He clearly asked Moxley if he could publicly discuss it. His words make that clear, and I'm not mad. Just tired of the guy making everything about him. And again, that's a misinterpretation. Because Tony Khan didn't ask Moxley, hey, can I tell everybody what's going on about you? Because Moxley's the kind of guy that probably been like, no, you can't tell him what's going on in my life. You don't have the right to do that. But this is a situation where Moxley went to Tony Kahn himself and said, hey, this is what's going on with me, man. I'm letting you know right now so you can inform everybody. I'm giving you the okay. And that's it. That is it. He didn't go and ask Moxley, hey, can I talk about this? No, Moxley went to him and said, hey, I'm giving you my blessing to tell people what's happening right now. I'm giving you the consent because people will be asking questions. Those I work with will be asking questions. So he gave the consent. And a lot of people have made this comparison to the whole Jon Huber, Brody Lee situation before he passed. Nobody knew why Jon Huber, Brody Lee, was absent from TV for a while until he passed, and then it started to come out. And the reason nobody knew is because Tony Kahn was respecting the privacy of the Huber family. They didn't want it to be let out that Jon Huber, Brody Lee, was battling for his life. They didn't, because they didn't want to cause any concern. The thing is when somebody gives you the blessing, gives you the okay, gives you the consent to tell others this is what's going on, this is what's happening, then you shouldn't be upset about that. You shouldn't be feeling like, oh, this person's only saying this now because they want to make it about them. No, they're doing that because they're trying to inform people about what's going on, about what's happening, why this person isn't around for a while, or isn't going to be around for a while, and stuff like that. So basically, Russo, Tony Kahn didn't go to Moxley and ask him could he tell the world. Moxley contacted him and said, hey, I'm letting you know what's happening, and I'm giving you my consent, my blessing to let everybody else know. There's a difference. There is a major, major difference. And hopefully, Russo, you can understand that. Because if anybody understands, getting consents and permission and blessings from those to inform others about what's going on, it's you. It's you, my man. I mean, you have your own opinions. There's no doubt about it. And sometimes you're right about them. Sometimes you're not. I mean, when you reflect back on your career, yeah, you do realize you've made a lot of dumb mistakes. And you basically feel and believe that if you could go back in time and rectify them, you would. And I believe you would. But here, man, you cannot, come out and misinterpretate or misconceive something, a different way just because you feel a guy like Tony Kahn, is trying to stroke his own ego. Because in this case, he's not. I mean, yeah, does Tony Kahn make some decisions and put himself in a bad light sometimes on when it comes to social media, or trying to promote his company as being better than other companies like WWE more likely than anything? Absolutely. But even Tony Kahn has the knowledge, has the reasoning, the sensibility to realize that if somebody's going to give him the okay and consent and blessing to tell people why that person's not going to be around for a while, then he'll do it. He has the choice. He has the choice. Like, okay, they gave me the consent. Could I do it? Should I do it? And if he didn't want to do it, he wouldn't. But Jon Moxley, obviously, he wants the fans and the people he works with to know why he's not going to be there, so they don't ask questions and worry. That's it. And so they can also keep him, Renee, and their daughter in their blessings, in the prayers as well. So honestly, Russo, I get that you feel that Tony Khan's trying to make this about himself, but in reality, this is a case where he's not. He's not. So hopefully, Vince, you realize you'll wake up tomorrow, or what I'm trying to say, Russo, Vince, hopefully you woke up this morning and realized maybe you misinterpreted what Tony Khan was trying to say, and you kind of, hopefully, Lord willing, rectify what, your reactions on your podcast and on social media. Because this is a case where Tony Khan's not making it about himself. He's not. Yeah, he may have done it twice in your opinion, but it's because he's trying to get the point across that, hey, this is why Jon Moxley's not here. And again, Moxley gave him his consent. And there's a difference, between, giving somebody a consent and then doing it without the consent. So yeah, hopefully Vince Russo, with all due respect to you, because you do have you do have the compassion out there to understand these things. You have shown that you're willing to make up for the things you've done in the past, as if you have had the opportunity to do so. But hopefully you understand that this is not a case about ego. This is basically about letting the fans and letting someone's fellow workers understand, hey, this is why he's not going to be here. Keep him and his family in your prayers, and hopefully, God willing, God seeing him through on this, he'll be back a lot sooner than later. But what do you guys think about what Vince Russo had to say? Comment down below in the live chat during the premiere. Comment down below underneath the video in the comment section as well. And like I said, live chat during the premiere what your thoughts are. Like the video. Check out the Teespring store. Check me out at Venmo to donate there. Check me out at patreon.com/bwroses to donate there or to support the brand and channel there. Also check me out at BW Roses Discussions on all your favorite audio podcast affiliates except for Pandora. Got 2 new podcasts up there right now. Both are audio versions of my review of the 2001 Survivor Series and my discussion on why a lot of fans love Princess Luna, why she is and was a very popular character by the Brony Pegasister community. Check all that out. And check me out on Vimeo for content you can't get anywhere else due to copyright reasons. So until next time, guys, take care, God bless, be safe, and I am out.